What's up, guys? I'm Chris Spags here, back with another Four Corners for today's 11-game NBA main slate, courtesy of Osmo.com and presented by SuperDraft. Hopefully we all had a good night last night, and tonight's our last big slate before the All-Star break, so we need that power of positivity now more than ever. So right now, please hit that like button if you want to get a chance to win a free month of Osmo Plus courtesy of SuperDraft. Like this video and comment your top overall value play down below. Yesterday, somebody did guess Kobe White correctly, so I'll announce that winner a bit later on. But if you want to join that person at the pay window, like this video and comment your top overall value down below. But there is an ungodly amount to hit on with a slate of this size, so let's get right into our first corner of the top owned plays. And Victor Oladipo in a game versus Milwaukee, there's 110.8 implied points for Indiana. Oladipo has 29% expected ownership on Draftkings, while he has 12% on FanDuel. Oladipo is again underpriced on Draftkings, though not as much as last time, and he remains due for positive regression on his 30% shooting from the floor and his 23% shooting from deep, with Milwaukee likely to give him some looks to prove that he can actually still shoot tonight. And another top owned play on the other side looks like Eric Bledsoe in that game at Indiana, where there's 111.8 implied points for Milwaukee. Bledsoe has 16% expected ownership on Draftkings, while he has 40% on FanDuel. Bledsoe averages 1.5 fantasy points a minute without Giannis Antetokounmpo, who's out again for paternity leave, and he's at an absolute smash price on FanDuel, while he's appropriately priced but the cheaper of the two core Milwaukee plays on Draftkings. And our last top owned play is his teammate Chris Middleton in that game at Indiana, where there's 111.8 implied points for Milwaukee. Middleton has 11% expected ownership on Draftkings, while he has 40% on FanDuel as well. Middleton also averages over 1.5 fantasy points per minute without Giannis, and much like Bledsoe, he's too cheap on FanDuel but appropriately priced on Draftkings, with a decent Indiana defense across from him and 57.75 fantasy points last game versus Sacramento. And now into our next corner of the top value plays on the slate, starting with Check Diallo in a game versus Golden State, where there's 116.8 implied points for Phoenix. Diallo is impossibly cheap on FanDuel and playably priced on Draftkings, with DeAndre Ayton unlikely to play after Diallo had 39 minutes last game versus the Lakers with Ayton out, and an easier matchup inside tonight versus Golden State. Another current top value play looks like PJ Washington in a game at Minnesota, where there's 110 implied points for Charlotte. Washington is affordable, and he's seen upwards of 36 minutes lately, but his .84 fantasy point per minute average comes with some risk, given his low 18% usage and his iffy rebounding on the year. And another somewhat specious value play looks like James Johnson in that same game versus Charlotte, where there's 118 implied points for Minnesota. Johnson has played 20 and 28 minutes in his two games for Minnesota so far, but he's mostly Juan Hernangomez's backup, so he seems like not the greatest chalky play given that and the pace down versus Charlotte. And now for our next corner, here are some of the core plays that I'm looking at on the slate, starting with Andre Drummond in a game versus Atlanta, where there's 116.3 implied points for Detroit. Drummond boosted his usage to 35% in his Cleveland debut, and he's in a strong spot to wreak havoc versus Atlanta, a team he averages 50.8 fantasy points against in his 3 games versus them on Detroit this year. Another core play today looks like Devin Booker in that game versus Golden State, where there's 116.8 implied points for Phoenix. Booker sees a usage boost without Ayton, and it's a prime bounce back spot for him after he shot 2 for 11 last time out versus the Lakers. And my last current core play looks like Julius Randle in a game versus Washington, where there's 116.8 implied points for the Knicks. Randle went for 64.5 fantasy points in his last time out versus Atlanta, a double overtime game where he played 46 minutes, and he's in position for a good follow-up against Washington's fast pace and poor defense on a back-to-back for them. And it's tough to choose this last corner on a slate of this size, but here are my lower-owned dart throws for tonight, starting with Devontae Graham in that game at Minnesota, where there's 110 implied points for Charlotte. Graham had a tough start to 2020 with more shared minutes with Terry Rozier and Malik Monk, but he's taken over more lead ball handler duties recently with a 45% assist rate over his last 3 games and upwards of 50.5 fantasy points during that stretch. A higher priced lower owned dart throw is Trae Young in a game at Cleveland, where there's 118.3 implied points for Atlanta. Cleveland's 114.2 defensive rating with 49.3% shooting from the floor allowed will give Trae a lot of clean looks, with the added boost that they're also one of the NBA's worst teams defending the pick and roll. And my last of the lower owned dart throws looks like Marquise Chris in that game at Phoenix, where there's 109.8 implied points for Golden State. Chris has been one of the beneficiaries of Golden State's even more depleted roster, with over 33.75 fantasy points in his last 2 games. He's a fairly spiteful fella who could bring it in a more secure role in a return to his former team at Phoenix. So that's what I'm seeing so far for today's monster slate. So right now, please hit that like button if you want a chance to win a free month of Osmo Plus courtesy of SuperDraft. Like this video and comment your top overall value according to Draftkings salaries down in the comments below. In yesterday's 4 corners, 2 people guessed Kobe White correctly, but only 1 can win, and the winner is one of our regulars, Joe Morgan. So Joe, email me at chris@osmo.com to collect your prize right now. And as always, those free months of Osmo Plus come courtesy of SuperDraft, and tonight is a huge night on SuperDraft. They're giving up $10K up top in their big tournament tonight. That is the largest prize they'd offered up. It is a gigantic prize pool. We're also doing a special half hour on Live Before Lock again tonight, going an extra half hour before their 7:30 p.m. Eastern lock. So go right now to superdraft.io or download SuperDraft in the App Store and sign up using the promo code AWESEMO to get yourself $20 free with a deposit of $100 or more. Do it right now. It's a gigantic tournament. We're basically going to be giving you lineups away tonight. So check them out right now at superdraft.io with that promo code AWESEMO for your $20 free. We're also doing our biggest giveaway ever in honor of our 2-year anniversary here at AWESEMO. So check out the pinned tweet right now on @AWESEMO_com. It's a simple guessing game involving the Nuggets and Lakers game. So if you want to win some more packages of AWESEMO Plus memberships, do it right now by checking the pinned tweet on @AWESEMO_com. Go follow me on Twitter and Instagram @ChrisSpags. Even though this NBA All-Star break is coming up, I'm going to have a ton of content coming out, including the XFL and my own personal content. So check me out right now on Twitter and Instagram @ChrisSpags. I'll be back on Live Before Lock later tonight with the Chubster Josh Engelman for our special 90-minute episode, including that half hour for Super Draft at the end. So tune in then. And of course, I think I'll be back with you guys tomorrow for another Four Corners. It's a short slate, but I'll get one more out before the All-Star game. So I appreciate you guys watching. Hit that like button before you go, and I'll see you guys again soon. So enjoy your nights and good luck.